Hello guys, how's it going? My name is IcyRat, and well, I just wanted to show you a quick demonstration and well, I guess also a quick guide on my build. It's in the Heist league, Heist Softcore League, currently in Ziggy's private league. And before we go any further, I just wanted to quickly run a map. Um, just your regular map that you would alk and go. I've been alking and going, like I've been alking maps, or at least yellow maps for quite a while now. And well, haven't really come across any issues. Um, so just in, I guess, a few words, build, block, gladiator, max block, nothing really unique about that. I also do not claim that this is my build, it's just something that I threw together. You're on the left side of the tree, so well, there isn't that much variety in the builds, but I'm sure you guys know about that. I just today acquired a surrender, um, which makes the tankiness like go up by a whole lot. However, it is absolutely not necessary. I've so far played with a Crest of Ferendus. Yes, that I think level 20 shield, level 20 small unique shield that everybody probably has somewhere in their inventory. And that's been perfectly fine. I've been doing heists pretty much the entire day yesterday and the day before as well, which is the reason why I'm somewhat behind on maps and I can only show a tier 9 map. But I guess it's still a decent proof of concept. It's most definitely not, it most definitely doesn't have the best clear speed, as you can see, but I would say it also doesn't have the worst clear speed. But that's not what this build is designed for. This build is designed to be as tanky as I can possibly get on a reasonable budget. As you can see, it's obviously not that fair, seeing as I do have a surrender. So, as you can see, I can just stand in the middle of, well, an entire pack of mobs and not have to care about anything. I'm gonna come back and loot the map later to try and keep it as short as possible for you guys. The build is incredibly smooth to play. I didn't expect it to be this smooth. Alright, so here we come to a boss. You just plop down your war chiefs and just stand still. And that's pretty much what I've been doing to every single boss that I came across, including an Olnatol that I did yesterday, still with the Crest of Ferendus. Alright, I don't think I need to full clear the map because, well, I don't really think that's very necessary. So quickly going over my gear, keep in mind this is at the moment day 3 on a private league, and I really haven't been going very hard on it. You will see a couple of fairly expensive items, but as I said, they're absolutely not necessary. Alright, so for a helmet, we just got life and resists, nothing really impressive. For armor, ideally, you would want something pure armor based and not armor evasion, but this is like the only 6-link that I could get my hands on day 1, and I just haven't really, well, needed to get a new one. It's pretty bad. Again, just life and resist, and I actually needed a bit of dexterity, so I just picked it up on here. For amulet, I mean, come on. I just needed a bit of int, fizz damage to attacks, bit of life, and well, that's pretty much it. You'll quickly start to see a very, you'll quickly start to see a pattern here. It's basically life, resists, and fizz damage to attacks wherever you can get it. And you ideally would also want 25% movement speed. You really don't need it because we are using Leap Slam to get everywhere, and with our ascendancy, we're pretty speedy. But it's just a bit nicer to get around town and, well, to get out of places mostly. For a belt, I'm using Belt of Deceiver. Again, very budget, cheap, unique belt. For gloves, we're using Hemophilia. I'm currently using Hemophilia just because I got it as a drop on day 1. and I just haven't really bothered to pick up a different pair of gloves. You definitely don't need it, but I don't know. I like the pops, so I'm just gonna keep using it. I'm also using Soul Taker. This is an item that's most definitely not necessary for the build. It's just something that I like because it lets me reserve all of my mana, and it lets me cannot regen maps, and well, I don't have to worry about mana leech. I can just attack, well, as many times as I want to. And for a shield, this is like the only big ticket item that I currently have, the surrender. The cool thing about this and the unique thing about this is the recover 250 life when you block. That is massive. Like, as you guys saw, I can just stand still in the middle of the pack, and because we at the moment have 65% chance to block, but keep in mind because of our ascendancy, if we are hit, we get 8% more chance to block, which brings us up to 73%, and then every single time we block after that, in 10 seconds, we get another 1% chance to block. And together with the 4% maximum chance to block, well, you're very quickly going to reach that 79% chance. And every time you block an attack or a spell, you're gonna get 250 life. That is massive. So quickly going over the links as well. In my helmet, I have Dread Banner because we are currently in this iteration of the build a very weird mix of impale, bleed, and hit damage, and I'll show you the tree in a second. So in the helmet, we're running Dread Banner, Enduring Cry, Second Wind, and Blood Magic, and we are running Blood Magic because, well, Enduring Cry is not an attack, and Soul Taker only lets us attack with melee attacks without mana. So, well, gotta put a Blood Magic there. It's not a big deal. As you see, the like health doesn't even go down. Like the moment it would go down, it's just gonna get regened immediately. So just don't even worry about that. For the main links, I'm currently running Bladestorm, Fortify, Brutality, Impale, Melee Fizz, and Chance to Bleed. These are not the best links. The best link instead of Chance to Bleed as a sixth link would be Ruthless. However, I myself am not a fan of the inconsistency that Ruthless has. Like, every third attack deals a shit ton more damage. If you want to go with that, you're free to do so, but I prefer Chance to Bleed. In the shield, I'm currently running Vengeance, Brutality, and Melee Fizz, and these are all low level, because, well, like I said, I just got the shield. You also get the level 30 Reckoning, which is supported by the support links that you put in here. You do not need to run Vengeance, so trigger skills. However, I find that, well, it helps me clear off the, like, small stragglers. And, well, why not if you've got the links for it? In my weapon, I'm running Flesh and Stone, Maim, and Blood and Sand. You don't need to run Blood and Sand in here. You don't need it linked with Maim. However, you do want a Flesh and Stone linked to Maim. And the reason for that is it says enemies maimed by this skill take 16% increased physical damage. Maim says enemies maimed by supported skills take 14% increased physical damage. These two add up. So in total, you get 30% increased physical damage, which is a massive multiplier to our damage. And we're using Blood and Sand for a bit more AoE, and also a bit more damage in Blood Stance. In the gloves, I'm running Arctic Armor and Herald of Purity, and this is where I guess the uniqueness of my build comes in. You could instead run Pride and maybe even Vitality, but I find that Arctic Armor, that like extra 13% less physical damage taken from hits, And then also the chill. It just gives me that extra bit of protection in case that one hit comes through, because we have 79% chance to block, but that still means that we take 21% of, well, all the hits. So this just helps me mitigate those, well, I guess, rare hits that go through our block. Herald of Purity, um, well, just very simply, 12% more fizz damage. I don't think I need to, like, explain any further. And the minions actually do quite a bit of work around as well, so, well, it's nice to have. Faster attacks and leap slam. My faster attacks is currently level 16. That is because I do not have enough dexterity. If I had better gear, this would be level 20 and 20% quality. In my boots, this is at the moment very experimental. And I'm not quite sure if I would leave it this way. I'm currently running Val Ancestral Warchief, Impale, Brutality, and Melee Fizz. The idea is that Warchief also helps a bit on the damage front because of how tanky the build is. It did sacrifice a bit of damage. However, it looks like it's not actually going to do that much damage, so you would probably just want to have an Ancestral Warchief by itself and then run a Blood Rage over here. And what you can then also do is have this as a 2-link and have 2 links down here as well, and there you would put Intimidating Cry, once again linked with Blood Magic unfortunately. And what that allows you to do is you get exerted attacks. This is not new, so I'm not really going to go into exerted attacks, but exerted attacks make you deal more damage. At the moment, my exerted attacks deal double damage. What that means is every time I attack with Bladestorm, these two deal double damage. So what you could do like that is, for instance, have your Intimidating Cry, still have Enduring Cry on your left click, obviously, and then have your Intimidating Cry on your spacebar. And then when you get to a boss, you would then pop your Intimidating Cry, attack twice, and these two will then do double damage. Now, the way that it works, I think, I haven't really done much testing, and I also can't find any information on it.
I can't do this just yet.
Is not only the hits, like the first initial hit is skilled by exerted attacks, but also the Bladestorms. But again, haven't found any information on there, and I'm not going to claim that that's how it works, but I think that's how it works, if that makes any sense. If not, well, then I'm sorry about that. Alright, tree. This is a very scuffed tree at the moment. Again, day 3 of heist, so gear is a bit fucked. And, well, that also means that the tree has to, well, sort of make up for that. So the way you would level it, and the way I leveled it on day 1 of League launch, is I went through here, I picked up this at level 2, then I went through here, came down to Art of the Gladiator, then Master of the Arena, then I came down to Defiance, then I came over to Gladiator's Perseverance, then I picked up Forceful Skewering, then Constitution, then came down, picked up Swift Skewering, then Brinkmanship for a bit of extra damage, then I came over. I would suggest not picking up weapon-specific nodes early on, just stick to one-handed weapons and shields. Like nodes that give you damage while holding a shield will also scale any type of weapon that you have in your main hand. If you're leveling with unique weapons, you can absolutely go ahead and pick up weapon-specific nodes. I, however, didn't. I then came and picked up Cleaving, picked up Slaughter. We currently have Resolute Technique. I'm not entirely sure if it's worth it very late. At the moment, it is, because without it, I think I have 60. or 50% chance to hit. Again, scuffed gear, no accuracy anywhere, so it's probably the reason. And then you would want to start picking up block nodes. That's roughly around level 55 is when I would suggest start picking up block nodes, or rather after you picked up versatile combatant. If that's cruel lab for you, it's perfectly fine. I, however, picked it up as my Merc lab because, well, I picked up Arena Challenger for normal lab because that's like really, really nice. And then you would just fill out the rest of the tree, you know, with random block nodes, random life nodes. According to POB, picking up Crimson Dance for me with my current setup is an increase of damage. So we have Crimson Dance. I also came down here and picked up Retaliation and Testudo. Testudo was really nice before I had my surrender. I'm not entirely sure if it's still worth it. That is something that we'll still have to do a bit of testing on. At the moment, this is the only jewel that I have. Again, just found something day one on Lodge and just been using it ever since. So quickly, how to improve the tree. If you want more damage, you drop this, pick up this, and pick up a large cluster jewel. You would want to pick up a large cluster jewel probably with global physical damage, since that scales your impale, that scales your bleed, and that scales your main hit damage. Haven't done that yet because I haven't found the large cluster jewel yet. Not sure if these 3 points are worth it. If you want more tankiness, you could come over and, or more life rather, you could come over and pick up Tireless. Not entirely sure if it's worth it yet. Again, we'll do a bit more testing. At the moment, I'm sitting very comfortably at 5.5k life. I haven't found the need to pick up any more life. I haven't found the need to pick up any more life since like 4.5k to be honest, but I still want to make sure that I'm safe against those big hits. And Ascendancy. Obviously, we're Gladiator. I picked up Arena Challenger in Normal Lab, as I said, then Painforged in Cruel, then Versatile Combatant in Merciless, and last I picked up Violent Retaliation. Well, that's pretty much the tree. Went over the gear as well. And flasks, well, I mean, a flask, a pretty big improvement for me right now would be picking up a Lion's Roar. Spent all of my currency yesterday buying the surrender, so, you know, takes a while to get that back, but that is definitely what is, what would be right here. It would replace the Stibnite Flask. At the moment, the Stibnite Flask is more so to get rid of my shock, to get rid of shock. And also to blind bosses, because in, well, a boss fight, you're most likely in blood stance, and if you're in blood stance, you don't get the blind. Yeah, that's pretty much it on the build. It's still a very much a work in progress. Probably gonna post an update video later down the week to, well, update you if you need, update you and show you what I've changed. That's pretty much it about the build. If you want to see it in action, if you want to see it in heists, if you want to see it in maps, if you want to see it in red maps, hopefully later today. I am live on Twitch as of right now. I'm currently streaming almost every day, probably every single day from 10 a.m. Central European time. Twitch is twitch.tv/ICRET, but that's probably going to be down in the description. But that's pretty much it about the build. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Well, hope you might give it a try, or at least, well, have a look at it. I hope you guys will